Alright, welcome back to part 2 of this video on the arrangement of my remix of London Nebel's Nasty Anthem. Once again, free song. I'll put an annotation right here, and there's also going to be a download link in the description below. I haven't watched a Ray William Johnson video in like 1 year or something. Whatever, let's get started. Okay, so we covered the first drop. We covered the intro in the first drop, in fact, and I'm now going to proceed into the second half of the drop. I'm just going to let you listen to the last part of the first half. And of course, because I'm an idiot, I had my loop on again, so please excuse that. And then here's the second half of the drop. So as you can hear, I took the rattling machine gun bass out, and I replaced it with a really thick, massive synth, which I did a Seriously Sick Synth Sounds video on, actually. Link is right here. Okay. Now, for 8 bars, this is enough to keep the listener's attention going. But after... Why do I keep saying 8 bars? This is clearly 16 bars. So yeah, for a 16-bar phrase, this is alright. But afterwards, you gotta really switch that thing up. So, what I did was, this synth right here plays some made-up melody and the chords from the drop. Now what I do is, there's this main line of chords which goes like this. And there's this second line of chords in the drop which goes like this. And what I now do in the third part of the drop is I introduce the melody to the drops chords, and just to see, like, I did it back then just to see if it worked, but it turned out it worked quite well. So here's the drop chords, and then here's the melody. And then in the second half of the third part of the drop, I actually used the chords from the intro, just to give it some more variation or variety. And there's the theme the listener knows. I do also work a lot with breaks in this, or with like tiny pauses in this track. So there's one here in the first drop, if you remember the first video. Sorry. Comes up at bar 53. And then there's one here. And then there's one here. And it's these tiny pauses that re-infuse the dance floor with energy. If there's a tiny break and then the drums come back in, it's more like a roller coaster ride instead of constantly being up there. You know, you gotta have ups and downs. So philosophical. Alright, whatever. Yeah. Third part, I introduced the melody with another break. And that just delivers a lot of energy. Also, because I don't just go back on the one, which would be here. I introduced the snare earlier, which is this thing. Bam, drop. Oh, not really a drop, but that's the actual thing. So there's this thing with the snare, then also the hi-hats come back in. Those aren't really great hi-hats, are they? There they are. And also, I think I have a drum fill somewhere. Oh yes, this Dr. Octorex right here. So this is what the drums sound like. And this... Sorry? A drum fill like this is pure gold. This is the kind of thing that will deliver real powerful energy. Because it makes this thing coming on the 1 sound much, much more strong and powerful, because you have the feeling that the drummer actually, you know, can't wait to actually, you know, hit the drums again properly. So yeah, this is pure gold, and I pulled that from the factory sound bank as well, I think. That's, yeah, that's the Acoustic Drums College 130 loop pack, I guess, and that's loop number 7. Now if I play that back, so there's all sorts of like college power rock, like punk rock, I don't know a lot about rock drums, but it's just acoustic drums. And I found this one loop that had this nice little fill towards the end. So I just used that, loop, and turns out it worked out quite well. Yeah, now towards the end of this thing, just a regular breakdown. What I did here was, towards the end, I had a reversed cymbal, and then that proceeds into one of those reverb kicks that many of you guys probably know from trance and stuff, but I just had the feeling it was appropriate. And then I reintroduced the piano. I was pretty lazy on this one. I didn't really put much variety into the second drop or the second build-up. As Dodge and Fusky say, don't like go writing an entire different symphony, because a DJ is probably just gonna play the first drop and then use the second part of the drop to mix in another track, and by the time you get here, the second track will be playing and this one will be off. So, yep. Yeah, don't put too much effort into creating a second drop with too much variety. I mean, some variety is of course a good thing, but don't write an entire different track. Okay, yeah. So just the build up as with the first drop, and then there's one difference towards the end. We proceed into the drop as usual. But then, as you could see in the second, like after this first main drop, I just have these chords playing. And as I was listening to this entire song, you know, to the song in its entirety, I thought, alright, it gets pretty boring by the time you're here, because you already heard the entire thing already. So basically what I did was I copied these whistles from the beginning and just pasted them in here, and now we have this thing going, but we also have the whistle, so that gives a tiny bit more interest and variety. Again, it's all about creating some variety. I mean, I know I told you don't write an entire new symphony, but you know, like, I mean, this is common sense, really. Okay. And we go back here. Already explained that one. And then the outro. Well, what did I do with the outro? I had a reverse sweep with some cymbals. And then that proceeds into... And I'm pretty sure this sweep is just this sweep, but time stretched out. So yeah. Yeah, this proceeds into the outro. Where the piano plays its thing. And the whistle is still going. And the listener already knows it's getting quiet, it's getting calmer. And also I did a nice little trick you can pull is I put reverb units on both the whistle and the piano, as those are the only two elements that are playing right now. And towards the end, I increased the dry-wet value to full whack. So it will look something like this. As you can see here, the dry-wet is constantly going up, and everything sounds like it's farther away, like it's moving away from the listener. And that leaves us with the ending of the track Nasty Anthem Dorincourt Remix by London Nebel. Again, link is going to be in the description. I hope you enjoyed this little overview video. Like, I know I was basically just talking about random stuff, but yeah, I just felt like making a video. So yeah, thanks for watching. Dorincourt out. And as always, subscribe, like, favorite, all that stuff. Also follow me on Twitter if you like to tweet. I tend to tweet quite a bit. And yeah, thanks for watching. Dorincourt out.